This meeting is being recorded.
So today, the topic which we are discussing is seasonal regimens for the season of spring. So spring is a beautiful season. So everything is starting to bloom, and it's a wonderful time that everything is starting to bloom, and we are very excited to get out of these walls. Um, Usually, because of various reasons, we are already having a bit of lack of freedom, or rather, we feel some kind of a bit um, cluttered feeling. There was COVID, and now there are restrictions being reduced, and then we are very happy to get out as well. More socializing ways are open, and it's a good time that spring is also coming, so everybody has better spirits. And we know that we are doing a bit of lifestyle hacks daily, on a daily basis or seasonal basis, um, according to what is happening in the environment, because we have this inner sense of how to balance inner sense how to balance our system according to the environmental changes. For example, in the winter seasons we were eating something warm, like more sweet, heavier kind of food we used to prefer. And it's a natural process that when it is cold, definitely we want something warm and more or less more heavier things which produces more energy, release the more energy. And we love to be having cozy moments at home, whereas in the summer we have more time to enjoy the raw salads and cold food we prefer. It may not be healthy, like it may feel like, but you have an affinity towards it. So you like to go for swimming and long nights outside, socialization, etc. So these all are part of the kind of adjustments we do, because we have this inner sense of staying healthy according to what is happening in the environment. And this is what exactly Ayurveda also says: every human is a part of nature, and the health of our body and mind is connected to our external environment, and how to synchronize each other, the nature and human being. That is what it's all about. And basically, that comes from the idea of Panchamahabhutas, which are present in the external environment and internal environment. What we have, the interaction between them is happening daily basis, on the daily basis, that is reflecting in our circadian rhythm, and seasonal basis, it is happening as well. So various this because of this, there are various disorders which also appear in our body. So we have, to maintain the optimal health, we need to understand these factors. So exactly like now, if we are, for example, we are trying to understand the spring season, it's about rather more of a kapha melting season. So what is happening in the spring is, we were seeing the winter with frozen water, and more like a water getting frozen, and it's more like icy kind of a weather. And once the sun is coming out during the spring season, it melt and it starts flowing. The kind of flow starts coming up. So this is more or less, we consider it as a kapha melting season. So the same thing is happening in the winter time, as an accumulation of kapha because of the cold, external cold, the kind of water and earth element which is there in our body is also getting solidified, and it is getting melted out during this spring season. That's what Ayurveda teaches in its information about, when it informs about the kind of seasonal changes, especially according to the spring regimens, which we call it as dinacharya. So this is the qualities. Many times it may vary between the kapha and pitta and vata of during this season, but we may mostly see the properties which are more about the kapha. The season is predominant of kapha, but this is more like, you need to understand that it's not like just kapha season, because the other factors, the vata and pitta, the fire, air and space, these factors are creating the kind of environment for the kapha to melt. For example, the heat element in the environment during this spring season, which is when the sun is becoming more and more hot, that's the reason why these kapha melt. So, though the kapha melting is happening, the underlying cause may be pitta, or there may be reasons, the kind of characteristics like lightness or dryness, subtleness, mobile characteristics also present in the spring season. So you need to more or less balance, look for balancing the kapha. Though it is balancing, more or less, we are trying to balance the kapha. The underlining two other doshas also will be needed to be considered, because in the environment, what we need to look is these characteristics. Characteristics means the qualities, the kind of qualities we observe in the environment is more important, also in the body, is more important than putting just in kapha frame, pitta frame or vata frame of the season. And we need to remember one thing: the season means it's not stagnant. We cannot put that it's a kapha season. Of course, we can put it as kapha season, but it's a kind of journey. Like life is a journey, the same way that kind of there is a kind of mobility happening. There is a kind of flow happening, from one characteristic to other characteristics. Changes are happening day to day, even. So we need to when we put the ridhucharya in the terms of kapha seasonal ridhucharya, we need to understand that it's not only kapha. All other characteristics like dosha characteristics also we need to understand to more precisely manage the seasonal regime. Okay, so the knowledge about the season is being told in Ayurveda as Ritu Charya. Ritu means the season, and Charya means the regimen. So, what kind of regimens are being told in Ayurveda for that particular season is called as Ritu Charya of that particular season. So, we need to understand this to more or less these days. We may get in the spring. Spring is an exception that we get more infective diseases also, or allergic diseases we get more, but the kind of background of development of these allergic factors, maybe we will call it as pollen or allergic other allergic materials which is there in the environment, but still it is because of our internal environment, which is basically managed by the three doshas, which is influenced again by the external the qualities in the external environment we consider the most, because Ayurveda always look for the inner environment rather than the external environment. But of course, in this context, it's more about the interaction between both of them. So nowadays, it is lifestyle management is the most important things, because people who are having more vulnerable internal environment inside them because of the lifestyle problems like obesity, diabetes, heart diseases, or endocrinal disbalances, or compromised immunity due to cancer, etc. they are having more vulnerable they are more vulnerable to have health issues in whatever seasonal changes happen. So whatever seasons, whatever is seasonal changes happening, whether it is infectious diseases getting predominant, or kind of how you say, the kind of allergic problems developing, in all these, the kind of lifestyle management is the most important thing. So this Ridhucharya is a part of lifestyle management according to Ayurveda. So respecting the circadian rhythm, eating in time, and what kind of food you can eat at this season, and maximally using the kind of favorable situations in this in every season is the kind of secret to the better health in that season. For example, like I said, the fresh vegetables and fruits are coming more with the vital prana in this season. So you have more abundant amount of vitamins and antioxidants rich in this season. So you need to consider eating the fresh vegetables and fruits in this spring and summer season. So something like this. When classically thinking about the seasons, you have in Ayurveda two, based on the two solstice, the movement of the sun across the how you say, the line across the middle of the globe. It is divided into two, and then there are 6 seasons. Actually, here you explain it as four seasons because it is this Varsha Ritu, that is monsoon season, which is there in more in the more towards the um, how you say, center of the equator is absent here. So it is here this rainy season. Rainy season is happening somewhere in between the summer and the autumn, or sometimes you get it during the autumn also, during the season of autumn, and also early winter season. It also comes. You can see literally the transformation of water, rain waterfall falling into the snowing during this winter season. So it is more or less this Varsha Ritu, or the rainy season, is absent, or rather you say it is present, but it is more spread or sandwiched in between this spring and sorry, summer and autumn season. So and another thing is this late autumn and late autumn is absent here. You consider it as a autumn itself, but early autumn, Ayurveda consider it more like a bit of pitta, or late autumn as little bit more of a vata also season. You can consider this interpretation. So spring, little more to explain beautifully. So you see that snow is melting, and more that is the kind of sum total, you can say. And this qualities explains a lot, the kind of opening up, germinating, and flowers budding, insects growing, and also leaves unflowering. And these are the kind of reasons why we get many of the kind of health issues also. Any kind of the kind of renewal is happening, the growth is happening during this season, but you need to understand that any kind of renewal needs also kind of detoxification. The kind of previous things has to go away, and new things appear. So it is also a necessary time that you also do a bit of cleansing, because the kapha is a factor, like I say, the ice, the kind of clogging factor. The earth and water element is a more of a has more characteristics to clog the channels. So to reduce this clogging effect, we need to always keep the system more clean, especially the lymphatic system, for example, or immune system, to be very sharp and more effective. So physiology is like it needs a kind of clean start. That's what it's all about. And also the world is coming out of this lethargic feeling. And there is more factors which are explained here. This is very important to consider. The warmth, the hot properties is belonging to pitta, and moisture is belonging to pitta and also kapha. And softness is a characteristic of kapha. So similarly, we need to put them in the criterias where based on the kind of qualities it possesses and which dosha is predominating. And it also, because anyway it is the moisture is increasing, that factor itself is showing that it gives the exact translation of kapha factor. The kapha meaning of the Sanskrit word of kapha itself is that which flourishes in water. So the water when it is melted, and this is the kind of season which is most predominant of kapha. And like I told you, still there is a kind of lightness, sharpness, dryness, heat, all this happening in the environment. The lightness factor is denoting the or promoting the factor of vata. Sharpness factor is more pitta, and the dryness factor is vata again, and heat is basically again the vata thing. So always there is a kind of rhythmic dynamics is happening. Not only rhythmic changes, but also there is also a kind of dynamic change happening. So there is a transition, and it's not intended to be rigid or static according for this routine also. So we need to be flexible to understand what is happening in the environment, and you need to adopt to it. So in any given day there will be aggravation of kapha and vata, or both, or any other time when the season progresses, especially towards the summer season. There will be more weather getting warmed up, and there will be pitta and kapha and pitta. Kapha will be all the time, I told you, but then it will be pitta also getting involved because of the characteristics. So this we need to understand based on the local climate also. There will be local climatic changes according to each places. So there will be the kind of, even Ayurveda says about these lands which are predominant of vata, pitta, and kapha predominant. So during the Jangala Desha, where there is more dry area is there, then it may be more predominant of vata in natural way, and this spring season it may also increase kapha, and secondary maybe vata, or even sometimes pitta. So it depends what kind of local situations are also there. You need to consider them. Many people uh, Many people notice that natural but distinct shift in their cravings in the spring. So in the spring, instead of the rooted, very more heavier things in the summer, sorry, winter, you are eating more uh, uh, like rooted vegetables, more heavier things you are eating. But now you look for more lighter things because of the changes in the external environment and internal environment. For example, in the winter season, the body has its own wisdom. In the winter season, the heat is concentrated towards inner core, because to protect the loss of heat, the heat is more concentrated to the core of the body, and this increases our digestive fire. The agni is more heavy, more stronger during the winter season. So that's why we want more heavier substances, substantial heavier substances. That's why here also, um, um, here there is also a kind of time to time there is more here there used to be time to time in the winter season. They used to enjoy more soups. For example, example, Slovenian or this part of Europe, they had all the kind of heavy soups with rooted vegetables, or even sometimes even with the meat and bones, etc., because they were having very good fire. And also this made them also to spend more energy for prepared them to spend more energy to produce the produce or maintain the heat for maintaining the heat of the body. But whereas when it comes to the spring season, we don't need all this. We need more light food, more craving for water rich food, which is like fruits and vegetables, and also bitter things we crave for because of the heat element, basically. So this is why. And also you need to remember one thing: the fresh leaves and vegetables, these things are more, like I said, rich in these antioxidants, and beneficial things are more present there during this season. So make use of this. If you get more rather than the frozen vegetables and fruits which you get in the other seasons, you have fresh vegetables and fruits during this season, and you can use the make use of best. Okay. So this is also something time of socialization. So to somehow it helps to inspire yourself to develop socialization. And this is also time you could also rather not only rekindle the kind of meaningful relationships and socializing. It also is a time you could also start waking up a little bit earlier, because during the winter season it was difficult for you to wake up so early. But rather, this is the season you could wake up early, because kapha, if waking up too late and also sleeping during the daytime is a kapha clogging factor. So both has to be avoided. Waking up early is so important that kapha doesn't predominate, and also sleeping, avoiding the kind of sleeping during the daytime has to be avoided because of the kapha increasing effect of both. And I'm giving some few examples of cleansing. One example for cleansing, cleansing diet. This is the time when many people also try the mono diet. For example, the famous khichdi diet. Rather, it is just with lentils and rice, or mung bean, or rice. So you have protein from natural plant-based protein, and then you have the carbs from the grain. And this is a very plain food, and you can use it in various ways. You can cook it in various ways. You can add spices of your choice, add vegetables of your choice, or you can make it more plain, and it is more like 7 days or 10 days. You can follow this kind of cleaning diet, which is amazingly effective during this season. So it's a very simple thing. A lot of people have tried this, and there are still people who advise it a lot. It may not be for everyone. It is better always to get a kind of opinion. If you have any health problems already with me, or Ayurvedic doctors, or Ayurvedic experts, so that if you have some problems. But as a normal, natural, healthy person, it's a good idea to do mono diet for at least for 3 days in the beginning of the spring, because it really helps our digestive system to adopt. Because of the temperature changes in the environment, external world, our digestive system also is in a kind of changing condition. So it is best if you do it in the beginning of the spring season, a few days in this transformative period. We need to observe the nature. That's if you ask me which date to date, which date to which date you need to do, the best is you need to have your own wisdom, connecting with your nature, with the nature. So it's all about connecting with the nature and observe, and do it at perfect time. So it is best to reduce the mucus production, especially you can, like I said, use some spices to cook. We will also describe some of them during this talk. So we need to give more importance to bitter and astringent and bit of pungent taste, because these bitter, astringent, pungent tastes are best for kapha to reduce. So the kapha element reduces with this, but at the same time, pitta, it should not too much increase. So light this is a kind of a simple kind of routine. It is written that light breakfast with fresh fruit or a tea. Rather, we don't say so much of fresh fruit in your breakfast if you're sick. It is better you eat something in between, like except have a breakfast and then take at 10 o'clock, 2 hours later. Breakfast should be at 8, 8:30, and 10, 10:30 you can take fresh fruits, something like this. So it should be something not together, club together, something different in different time. Lunch and dinner also should be light, and cooked grains, steamed vegetables, and legumes can be also often included. And drink warm water during the day, and not or hot beverages or something warm, teas. Structure your diet, eating a lot of fresh vegetables and variety of legumes. These foods tend to be astringent and also often bitter. That's a point. Many also benefit from eating a lot of bitter greens, cabbage family groups of sorry family vegetable groups, like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, spicy foods like bit of green chili. So you need to be always careful about what is your body type, and also how can you can tolerate these things. And in moderation, fish, tofu, poached or hard boiled eggs, these are kapha increasing things. Soya products, too much fishes, but freshwater fishes is less, because freshwater fishes lack salt, excess of salt. Salt is also something which increases the kapha. Soya, tofu, or eggs, these also increases kapha. It should be moderately eaten, and also in appropriate time. Maybe during lunchtime you can include when the digestive system is at its best. You can also enhance your meals by with pungent flavors like onions, garlics, ginger, black pepper, little bit of chili pepper, small amounts of cayenne pepper, and unlimited varieties of herbs and spices. So you need to always apply the idea, that apply the wisdom, that during the spring to summer travel, pitta will increase, and you need to cut down this chili, cayenne peppers, and strong amount of peppers. So in the beginning, it would be a bit okay, but still you need to be careful with individual constitution. Now, when we come to a spring season diet, fruits, especially if you take look for the fruits which are coming in that season. This is the season when you get more berries and cherries, especially. Almost all the kind of fruits comes during the spring season, and it is better to include varieties of fruits, though some of them in the pictures are not so good to include, like banana, for example. Whereas here it is written the apples, apricot, blueberries, cherries, cranberries, raisins, lemons, limes, peaches, pears, limes, pomegranate, prunes, socked raspberries, strawberries, etc. So all fully ripened. When you eat during this spring season, when it is the real season to eat, the benefit is it will be fully ripened from the plant, from where it is getting. It is not like taken out early before it is ripened from the plant. So it is more naturally ripened. It will be more sweet in taste rather than sour during the off seasons. Vegetables also, you see this also is of bit of, though fruits cannot be bitter or astringent, but still they are a little bit astringent and sour, a bit sour also in the nature. So it is rich with vitamin C, and also it is good to prevent many of the immune issues or allergic problems. Among the vegetables, when it comes to vegetables, also a little bit more sharp qualities are also included, like garlic, radishes, onion, bit of chilies, etc. And then bitter ones like artichoke or asparagus, bit of spicy like bell peppers, or astringent tastes are also there, like cabbages, etc. So rooted vegetables are also still included with green vegetables. Green vegetables basically they are bitter in taste. So bitter, astringent, and pungent are indicated. Ideal grains, these are more astringent in taste. Any kind of, sorry, not grains, that is legumes are more astringent, sorry. When it comes to the grains, also a bit towards bitter astringent qualities. It will be more predominant when you take the whole grain. When it is a polished grain, it will be more sweeter in nature. So with more fiber, you will get this bitter, the astringent taste more sometimes. Amaranth, barley, buckwheat, corns, more fibrous vegetables, millets, oats, quinoa, rice. This is also reducing the pitta. The whole brown rice, what I'm talking about, rice, and tapioca. So the tapioca is not so much available here, but still. Ideal spring legumes. This is basically a kind of bitter astringent substances, beans and legumes. This is ideal for spring season to include various lentils, various soups of beans and lentils. There is one thing that if you include um, beans and pieces, etc., you need to soak it for enough time and cook with a bit of spices added, like curcuma, cumin, or coriander, etc. And seeds also you can include pumpkin seed, popcorn seed, sunflower seeds. Dairy products not so much, because it is also kapha predominant time. Because of this, maybe you include something like goat cheese or cottage cheese, yogurt sometimes. Yes, and butter, this yogurt drinks and all you can include during the summer season. And animal products, if you like to eat, or oils, you can include more, less of kapha increasing things in more freshwater fishes, or poultry, the lean meats, not so much of red meats. Shrimps are not so good, but still sometimes you can include oils like corn oil or flaxseed oil, ghee. Pitta reducing oils are more advised also. Not only kapha reducing ones are like mustard oil. So this is more hot property. Sweetness, very less it has to be. And also the kapha reducing sweet, one of the kapha reducing sweet is honey. So you can use most of the honey based things in your food during the spring season, because honey is naturally reducing the kapha, the allergic problems. This is very good for the allergic problems. This is very good. Maple syrup, molasses, these things can be included. And generally moderate amount of spices is also good. Food to avoid, I don't need to even so much say. Fast food, sweets, soya products, nuts, excessive amount of bread, and chilled and refrigerated food. So everybody eats too much of ice creams. This is, I don't need to say that it's not good. Heavy or watery vegetables, veggies, like too much avocado, too much cucumber. But of course, when it goes to the summer season, cucumber, olives, these sweet potato, these are included. Squash, zucchini is good. But in the beginning of the spring, when the kapha is predominant, these things are more kapha increasing. That's why it has to be reduced. Reduce your intake of heavy, oily, and fried food. Try to reduce any tendency to overeat or snack in between the meals, because it is place less emphasis on sweet, sour, and salty taste. Because sweet, sour, salty taste, and in between snacking, kapha increasing, these are kapha increasing. And heavy sour fruits like oranges, bananas, pineapples, figs, dates, coconut, and melons, this has to be also reduced. Foods to minimize, these are like too much of oils, milk products, Sometimes you can include then rice milk, almond milk, etc., cow's milk. If you use cow's milk, then you need to include it during by boiling it. So boiling it, it is like add little bit of water, maybe 1/3 of the portion of water you add, and then add little bit of pinch of turmeric and ginger, and it will be better to be better digested. It will be less congestive. So if you like to use some milk products, reduce the meat, of course, um, in every forms like beef, pork, seafood, duck. Eliminate the iced food, ice cream, popsicles, etc. So shrimps also less as much as possible. As the season goes, shrimps and prawns has to be also eliminated. Create a routine. So daily routine. When it comes to daily routine, we need to give emphasis to improve our improve the health of respiratory system, avoid the allergic responses, then improve the kind of lymphatics to work better. So for that, so to have a kind of morning routine: brush your teeth, scrape your tongue, apply few drops of nasya in your nasal passages. So sesame oil you can use, or almond oil you can use. 2 drops you can put it in your nostril. Lie down on your back and close one nostril. 2 drops you can put it in each nostril and inhale, which is very good to clean up the respiratory system. And also it is very beneficial to lubricate the respiratory system. So you lubricating the upper respiratory system, not like it will not go to the lungs, but it is to lubricate the upper respiratory system. It can help to protect against many infectious things, and also reduce the allergic responses. And drink some warm water first thing in the morning. It's not like 1 liter of water, maybe 1 glass of warm water. Massage your skin with a warm sesame oil and then rinse off with hot shower. If you don't have time to oil massage every day, consider invigorating dry scrub. Also is good, because dry scrub is also improving the kind of lymphatic movement, and also it is helpful to reduce the kapha. So it's some herbal powders you can use. For example, amalaki powder, chickpea flour, if you have, or you can also rub yourself on the body, that it will improve the kind of lymphatic circulation. Like I said, yoga is very good. Exercises has to be necessarily involved, and daytime napping is not included. And if possible, dry out excess moisture with the sauna. So this is few seasons where dry sauna is included. It can be included, because this is kapha's melting season, but not in the summer. Summer sauna is not so good. This is when people also do a lot of sauna, but it is pitta increasing. But in this season, when there is a kapha melting happening, sauna is indicated. Morning routine: drink enough water and hydrate yourself. That's important. And you need to have try to do new things. That because during this season you have more bright mood, and also like a kind of outlet of expression of your feelings. And dress bright warming colors like reds and yellows and oranges in the early spring, while the weather remains cool and wet. As the weather heats up, they say cooling blues, greens, purples, whites are more better. At least sleep by 11. So go to bed by 10 and sleep by 11. That is not midnight, definitely no. Even if you have gatherings, it is much most important that you sleep by at least 11. 10 o'clock you need to go to bed and sleep by 11. And don't want to overindulge on sleep during the spring. And you might tolerate a slight increased sexual activity, because the kapha predominance, these intense activities of sexual activities can be tolerated by the body. Exercise: it is definitely a time when you can go for more exercising. Definitely it also reduces the clogging, and you can go for biking, jogging, hiking, swimming, You can try to do, if it is possible, do it in the morning hours, like 6 a.m. and 6 a.m. to between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Because it is the kapha time, and also it is this season to help the kapha to reduce. But of course, don't suddenly increase your heart rate if you have some health issues. Slow and steady. Include some spring yoga, meditation, pranayama, etc. So sun salutation is always welcome in all the seasons, and warrior pose. This is more or less like a stable stance um, for your body. And also it can be good to do various other exercises like bhujangasana, dhanurasana, vasishtrasana, side planks, spinal rolls, leg lifts. Pranayama has to be also included, like Kaphalabhati or Bastriga pranayama, that which stimulates the kind of flow of our impurities out. The interesting thing is that we don't use much of part of our lungs, and it also becomes becomes fibroginated or becomes hard. And sometimes when you don't use so much of most of the lung capacity, there can be a kind of sedimentation of the dirts. So to clean up the lungs, it is very good to do these pranayamas. So various pranayamas which are included, which can be included, and it also improves the respiratory health. So very simple few herbs is like pippali, that is a long pepper. It is called as the Chavanaprash is made up of that. This is rejuvenating the lungs, 1 or 1/2 teaspoon. You can include turmeric, and aloe vera is very good. It also is helpful to detoxify the liver, and it also can be included with aloe vera juice, two teaspoon of aloe vera juice. It's a bit bowel cleansing. If you take aloe vera juice a bit, it will go more easily, bowels will move. But turmeric powder also can be included. Triphala tea is naturally ama detoxifying thing. You can use as many home remedies, like you can use honey, onion, garlic. These are general ones. You can use it most of the problems of during this spring season, like vitamin C from all the kind of various vegetables and fruits. Ginger, which is also very helpful for reducing any kind of problems with kapha. Tulsi, this is the basil leaves, Indian basil leaves, is anti-allergic and anti-inflammatory. And black pepper and jaggery. This is a home remedy for many types of respiratory problems. Jaggery is this Indian unrefined sugar. You will find many times. So so herbal teas you can include. So enjoy the spicy herbal teas throughout the day, and experiment with the supportive spring combinations like lemon, ginger, cumin, coriander, fennel tea, ginger, black pepper, long pepper, that is pippali. So these are the common the kind of recipes. You can also use ginger, cinnamon also tea in the form of tea. These are general ones, very general ones. And some of the herbs like cardamom can be used. Gymnia sylvestra can be used for as a supportive thing for uh, immunity. Very in a quick way to say about the kind of the kind of seasonal problems which we get during these spring seasons. Respiratory problems are very common. It can vary from COVID to now we have COVID, and also seasonal allergies and common cold, flu. To distinguish between them is also important to treat, and that is also a kind of a bit advanced thing to do with a practitioner. But there are these basic things which I told about the respiratory health, and advices of spices can be used. So it can be upper respiratory system problem to lower respiratory system problem, that is asthma, can be also can be increased during this season. So these people who has respiratory problems, they need to be more careful. One remedy is Adatoda Vasiga. This Vasa is very much available, and this alkaloids has a very good effect on bronchodilation and expectoration. Coles food. This is also something which you can use it as tea. Mimodica charantia, the bitter gourd, we say in India. This root, the root of the bitter gourd is available, and that also is very much helpful for reducing, cleansing the liver. That also. Chinese skullcap is very much used in many allergic problems, especially even it is very good for cancer and also liver problems. It is being used, and it is a kind of a relaxant also. This is also available. This is also can be a kind of remedy during these allergic seasons. Whether the allergy is from skin or also respiratory system, many of these things are commonly can be used. Gooseberry amalaki is available very much. You can also use them for respiratory health, and also it is a good effective antioxidant also. Ginkgo biloba is also known for its ability to reduce the kind of anaphylactic reactions, that is allergic reactions. It reduces the kind of respiratory problems, and also it reduces the thrombosis and shock. So its remedies can be also used. And some of them, Grindelia, this is also traditionally recommended for anti-spasmodic conditions. This is Western herb as well. Honey, you know that it is a best respiratory health balancer, and also you can use it to take out the mucus which is accumulated in respiratory passage. Garlic is amazing, even to you can use it as a kind of drink. You can few cloves of garlic can be crushed and boiled in the in good amount of milk, and you can add little bit water and add a little bit of jaggery, and you can drink. This is very helpful in asthma. So it's helpful to open up the channels, and also at the same time the sharpness will not too much trigger the inflammatory effect. So because of the milk will soothe the sharpness of the garlic. So it should be proportionated. So it has to be carefully taken. And other things like ginger tea, these all things, and also linseed seeds. This is very useful. The decoction made up of linseed seeds is useful to reduce the kind of congestion and asthma. You can also sometimes, when there is a kind of internal clogging happening, these times you can use a poultice. Poultice is like tying a cloth with these linseeds, and you can warm the poultice and apply on the back area, so to reduce the pain. Licorice root, I don't need to explain, it is very soothing for the respiratory system. Mustard oil is very good. It can be applied, you can mix it with camphor oil and mustard oil, and you can apply in the chest region, because it will reduce the kind of respiratory clogging. And caraway seeds are also boiled. Caraway seeds, you can use it for because it has a lot of menthol in it. It will open up the respiratory system. Fix, this is amazing thing also for bowel to clear out, so that the kapha movement also is reduced. Inula is amazing also. This is also something to reducing the mucus secretions. Skull cap, these are things available here as well. People who are having kind of stress related asthmatic attacks, this can be also useful. They can also use valerian. Turmeric is always helpful, as you know. Respiratory health, for other respiratory health, these things are also available in this Western world. Meadowsweet, sage, walnut leaf, nettles, plantains, peppermint, calendula flower, rosmarines. These are available, and you could make teas out of them, the dry leaves. Rhinovirus viral infections are also very common. So you need to. There are also herbs which are more or less, which I explained you. Licorice roots, for example, or berries. All the kind of blue berries and cherries, they have polyphenols. This also improves the kind of immune modulation, and various other things like this the Clinacantha siamensis. I think it's also Chinese thing, and Punica granatum pomegranate, Goa. This is an Indian herb. Epi Epimedium is also Chinese, and also Scutularia. This one we have already discussed. This Chinese skull cap. This is also very useful in reducing the viral budding prevention. Peonia, it is also called peony. This is also Chinese herb, which is also very helpful for respiratory, like influenza conditions, against influenza viruses. Some supplements, you know that zinc, selenium, garlic extract, etc., is amazing for prevention of the respiratory diseases. And vitamin C is amazing, as you know. Probiotics like lactobacillus, lactobacilli, etc., is also very helpful. Lyme's disease. This is also something which comes when the temperature is and its external environmental temperature is increasing. So sometimes to apply some kind of mosquito, the kind of repellents, or internally considering to eat garlic in the food. It emits a kind of smell to keep away the this kind of things, ticks and all. But of course, your body also will produce this kind of sulfur things. That's why it keeps away. Or you can also use various oil sprays like cedar oil spray before you go out to walk. And sorry, neem oil, apple cider vinegar is amazing. Many of the aromatherapy things are very good to keep away from the limes. Gastroenteritis, this can happen also, because I told you there can be a lot of contamination also during this season. And also the digestive fire is little bit getting down, or there can be a kind of digestive symptoms many times happening, like gastroenteritis. Not only the stomach, also intestines can get inflammation. So reduce this. So to have a kind of disinfectant, always keeping the hands clean. Okay, now the contamination can also happen more. It is in countries like in India, it happens more during this season. But then during these seasons, this medicated waters, or kind of coriander, ginger medicated waters, lentil soups, or green mung, these can be a kind of very good food, or kind of supportive therapy for the digestive issues. Or other herbs like yarrow, peppermint, walnut leaves, oregano, marshmallow, rosemary, chamomile. These are some of the herbs which can be also for digestive supports, which is available also in European subcontinent. Strep throat, that is a kind of itchy throat you have because of the kind of respiratory allergic symptoms, or also as a kind of flu. Gargling is the best remedy during this time. So you need to use various powders like cardamom powder, methi seeds. Methi seeds are like fenugreek seeds. Turmeric and salt water. Turmeric and salt water is the most easiest, which you can also include. Basil leaves, which is been boiled in the water. This is amazing. Lemon and ginger water also you can use for drinking also. Allergic conjunctivitis, the kind of allergic problems which happens with the eyes. This needs to be really carefully monitored. Once it goes to the deeper tissues of the eyes, this needs to be as early as possible managed. If it is not managed with these simple remedies, you need to find your the specialist or the kind of eye doctor at the earliest, because it goes more quick. But most of the kind of eye problems can stop with couple of days. It will be more of a respiratory and eye related problems. So respiratory problems also give rise to the eye related problem, like acute allergic reactions. So in this, the kind of good hygiene, not to touch the eyes, not to too much get in contact with the eyes internally, with like wearing the contact lenses, has to be avoided. And you avoid so much of humid and damp, dusty, smoky kind of environment, and also too much of moisture, the old kind of rooms, or uh, the kind of lower down rooms where there is a moisture and also fungus growing. This also, it is very common to create this problem. So always remember, don't share the things much if you have the eye problems with other people who are living with you. And always, Ayurveda also says that it is because of the various flies also, and also sleeping, the kind of eye related things also, they say. Cold water bath in the body in hot body condition. This is very particularly been told in Ayurveda for all the eye problems which is happening. Like, um, person may be going to the sun and coming out with a very hot body. Immediately he puts cold water in the body, cold water shower, come out from the sun, cold, suddenly drink or put cold water. This is considered to be a kind of a reason for a very much of eye related problems. And also hot water, too much hot water for the head, this is also not advisable. All the kind of immune modulatory things are also applicable for management of these the same problems. You can use turmeric, amalaki, guduchi, etc. And also you can use a kind of coriander seeds. You can boil it and thoroughly filter it and wash the eyes. You need to thoroughly filter it. This is the most important part of advice. You should not have any residue of this, and cool it, and then use it for washing the eyes. Various herbs are also indicated. So most of the things also I have already told you. To improve the immunity, you can use, like, again, this herbs which I already told: meadowsweet, sage, walnut leaves, nettles, plantains, peppermint, calendula, rosmarins. Various allergies are also possible. The more or less the kind of same protocol has to be also followed. And look where you can get allergic problems, and also maintain a kind of healthy gut, which is the most important uh, health factor according to Ayurveda. The gut is the one of the most immunological reservoir, we say. So where the microbiome produces vitamins, enzymes, antibodies, and hormones that serves to keep the body in homeostasis and promote healing. So we need to always give importance to the good bacteria in the gut. So this is about the this is about the talk. And if you have any questions, please, you can ask. Maybe somebody has written something in this. So, uh, Sonia. Okay. I don't know. It is in Slovene. I can try to translate, or you can. There is nobody here to translate. Actually, that is a sad thing. So,
Dr.
if
Dinil,
I can.
Dr. Dinil,
Yeah.
I was asking if sauna is good for all doshas. How is about
No.
Vata dosha? Is it okay?
No. We said the sauna is very hot and
Mm-hmm.
drying. So hot property is against opposite to the pitta, and
Mm-hmm.
too much heat, and also dry property is increasing the vata. So hot, too much dry heat will increase the pitta and vata. But in the beginning of the spring season, like I said, the kapha melting is predominant, and that's why that season, during that time, during the season now, it is indicated.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you.
If anybody else have any questions, you can open up and tell me. Okay, if not, thank you for participating, and we'll see you next time. Once again, have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, and bye.